My name is Darren Patey of the Water Resources Management Division. Today I'll be speaking about record keeping as it relates to operating a public drinking water system. I'll be touching on the importance of record keeping, a discussion of the types of records that need to be kept, some options and best practices for record keeping, and some useful information on selecting and implementing a record keeping program. This video will provide communities with the tools and information needed to implement and properly execute a record-keeping program for their drinking water system. Why is record-keeping important? A good record-keeping system is essential for the long-term operation and maintenance of a municipal water treatment and distribution system. In order to ensure that water is adequately treated and safe for residents to drink, regular monitoring of the water treatment equipment and water quality is necessary. Having accurate and reliable records provides operators with the tools and information needed to adjust the system when something isn't working properly. For example, the practice of daily chlorine residual sample collections at various locations and recording those results is the best way to determine what chlorine dosage changes are required to ensure chlorination is reaching all parts of the distribution system. This operator has noticed low chlorine readings for the past 4 days at the first user on the system. He'll use that information to adjust his chlorine dosing strategy. It is important to have a good record-keeping system so that information isn't lost and can be passed on to other operators, operator trainers, maintenance staff, or other interested parties that will be working with the system. Having something in place is always better than nothing when it comes to record keeping. Overall, records document the actions taken to ensure the provision of safe, clean drinking water. This is useful to both preserve the knowledge that has been acquired by operating the system over time, but also to have a library of information about your system for future reference should work and upgrades be necessary. So that's why record keeping is important. Now let's discuss what you should be recording. Water system operators and town officials should keep a log of daily, weekly, monthly, and annual tasks performed. The lists we'll be going over are quite thorough and may not apply to every system. That being said, let's dive into daily tasks first. Checking and recording standard water system measurements such as chlorine residuals, pH, flow rate, pressure readings, chlorine usage, along with any other work or observations completed that day. Weekly tasks generally include inspecting the various aspects of the water system, including chlorine testing equipment, chlorination buildings, pump houses, water storage chambers and wet wells or screens, and general security of the system. Any observations or maintenance conducted on the water system, such as cleaning screens, repairing signage, or addressing leaks, should be recorded. Monthly tasks generally involve inspections of various water system components, including wellhead covers and locks, colorimeter accuracy, fire hydrants, storage tanks, eye wash stations and breathing apparatuses, and the watershed area. Additionally, inspections or checks on the power and backup power sources for the water system should be completed. Long-term tasks can vary from seasonal to annual to several year-long intervals. Some seasonal tasks include inspection and cleaning of air relief valves, chemical feed lines and tanks, and seasonal maintenance and/or flushing programs during the fall and spring. Every year you should review emergency response plans to ensure that they are still adequate, as well as verify that all operators have met their annual training and educational requirements. Additionally, inspection and maintenance of the pump house, disinfection facility, and water storage tank should be completed annually to address any outstanding maintenance not covered by daily, weekly, or monthly tasks. All of this should be recorded and organized for future reference. Now we'll move on to some best practices and options as it relates to record keeping. A good record keeping system should be designed to have records that are transferable and in a useful and secure format. What do we mean by transferable? In the modern age, internet and digital technologies provide an easy and quick way to transfer data. Having data entered into a computer software like Excel or Google Sheets allows for easy transfer of records. A good record-keeping system should be designed so that records can be made available to those that need to access. Well, what do we mean by a useful format? When working with data, especially data that is collected frequently or over an extended period of time, entering records into a table with rows and columns is a common approach to organize the data in a useful way. This can be done both as hard copies on paper or digital in spreadsheets. And finally, a good record-keeping system should maintain records securely for future use and reference. Digital and analog technologies have their own benefits, so having analog or paper and digital copies of records provide redundancy in record keeping, giving communities more confidence in the long-term storage of the records. Records should be kept for a minimum of 5 years, if not permanently. And now, on to what are some options available to you and your community for record keeping. Having an organized binder or series of binders with data tables or data sheets is a simple and effective method for maintaining good records. If you elect to go with paper records, you should consider waterproof paper for your data sheets or take extra steps to keep the sheets dry. The next step is to record data or information digitally. This saves the data in another location, providing redundancy in the storage and security of records. Additionally, digital data is very easy to transfer or transmit electronically. An extensive logbook with templates is available from the Water Resources Management Division. Contact your regional operator trainer to request a logbook. The operator trainer can work with you to design a logbook with templates specifically for your community's reporting needs. Now, here are some things to consider when selecting a framework for your community's record-keeping system. You should always aim to implement a system that users will be comfortable with, considering the level of technological background or understanding that the people in charge of collecting their records possess. Will help with selecting a system that users will be comfortable with. If you're in a situation where multiple people are collecting measurements and recording data, this will need to be organized in a single location or format. With multiple sources of records, having one centralized location to store and keep records is ideal, and the use of digital methods should be considered. Digital methods allow for easy transfer of records remotely and can be conjugated in a single location for long-term storage. A record-keeping framework should make your life easier by having an organized location for all records pertaining to your water system for future reference, and to make reporting requirements under your community's permit to operate as simply as possible. Should you have any questions about what has been presented in this video or would like to inquire about setting up a record-keeping framework for your community, please reach out to the department through the contact information shown.